So I heard recently that Brian Callahan was fired from the Tennessee Titans. I mean, I was totally expecting that. He was definitely done, but I thought maybe they would do it a lot sooner. If only they didn't beat the Cardinals. Damn it, Arizona. Why does Jacoby Brissett look better on the field than Kyler does? It may be time for a QB change. We got even more shocking news in college level. Let's get to that. Welcome everybody, ladies and gentlemen, to Grizzly Talks Football. I'm the Grizz, as always, and we got Week 7 and in college football reactions. We'll also look at a few of the Week 8 matchups and we'll also feel the Week 8 AP poll. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot, college basketball's AP poll has officially begun, the preseason AP poll for basketball. And BYU was 8. I'm excited to see what this new look Cougars team is going to look like this year. But anyways, if you are still looking for the Season 2 playlist, I'll make sure to have it in the description. Make sure you click that link. You'll have every single episode out there so you're all caught up, and you also have it for future episodes. Also, do not forget to hit the red subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single one of my videos. It helps the channel a lot. Without further delay, let's go take a look at some of the Week 7 games, shall we? Starting things off, we had to go to the Friday night game where the South Florida Bulls absolutely beat up the North Texas Mean Green in Denton, Texas 63-36. Byron Brown accounted for 5 touchdowns in this game. Drew Baker 2 touchdowns, also had a few turnovers. Good first quarter, but then it fell apart in the next 3 quarters because South Florida scored 56 points in points other than the first quarter. And North Texas only scored 22 after that 14-point outing. A mix of the fact that South Florida's offense just got going, defense got exposed, and offense made too many mistakes to even catch up. Good win, South Florida. You are right now the best Group of 5 team right now. At least have the best resume. Next on this list, we're going to the 12 o'clock slate from Saturday. First off, Alabama goes on the road to Columbia, Missouri, and takes down the Tigers, who were once unbeaten, 27-24. 3 touchdowns from Ty Simpson. Bo Pripyla 2 touchdowns, but Alabama's defense came in clutch when it needed to, and they were also very disciplined. That's the thing. The only way you beat Alabama is if you don't turn the ball over and you force the defense to lose their composure. Fortunately, none of these teams other than Florida State have done that. Speaking of Florida State, those Seminoles lost at home to Pittsburgh, going their ACC record to 0-3 and their overall record to 3-3. The score was 34-31. Hanshaw, however you want to say his name, 2 touchdowns, 300 yards. He was doing good on the ground also. An alarming sight to see with Reed getting 8 catches, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. Castellanos, 3 touchdowns, 2 of them going to Danzy. The defense just could not stop Pittsburgh's offense to save their lives. Now Florida State, in I can't remember how many ACC games, probably like 12. They've only won 1 of those, and that was against Cal. Yeah, that quality loss, it's not so quality now, is it, Alabama? Week 7 big new kickoff was Ohio State against Illinois and Champaign, and Ohio State proving they are still the number 1 team in the country with a 34-16 road win. Only 1 touchdown, 5 catches, 42 yards for Jeremiah Smith. I mean, Julian Sayin, not flashy, but surgical. Pretty much getting it done. Able to get 2 touchdowns, but the main story is really the defense. Only 3 first half points and able to hold Illinois to only 16 points in the game is really impressive. Especially a ranked Illinois team. Keep it up, Ohio State. Next on the list, Ole Miss almost loses to Washington State in Oxford, 24-21. You better be lucky that Trinidad Chambliss absolutely balled out, along with Lacey. 2 touchdowns for Chambliss through the air, and also 142 yards from Lacey. Man, the guy's balling out. And also, Washington State is putting up a really good fight, even without Jay Diggard as their coach. Encons had 2 touchdowns, 200 yards, 1 of them to Freeman. They were still in this game no matter what. You better be lucky, Ole Miss. You escape by the skin of your teeth and all. Looking at the Group of 5, UNLV remains unbeaten after a 99-point total absolute classic of a 4th quarter against Air Force, 51-48, the final. Calandria Balda, I think he was the one that ran for the touchdown to seal the game off with like 19 seconds left or something like that. There was literally no defense. It was all score, score, score in that second half. What a fourth quarter that was. 42 points between the two teams. Yeah, literally almost half of the points that were scored were in the fourth quarter. Good hell. College game day in Eugene, a surprising result. Indiana, 30-20 win over the Ducks of Oregon. 7 beats 3. Elijah Surratt came in clutch with a touchdown in the fourth quarter. Hemby scored twice. Quarterbacks didn't really, play all that well. But man, Coach Cignetti, man, he is 6-0 right now. If he could keep this up, they could be a real threat to the Big Ten. Next up, we had Iowa State get upset in Boulder by Colorado 24-17. Sama with a big game with 177 yards and 2 touchdowns, but Rocco Bett really did struggle. Shout out to Kane Salter with 250 yards, 2 touchdown passes, including 1 to Williams. This was the bounce back game that Coach Prime needed, and especially against the ranked opponent. Wow, this was a great game too. Nebraska beat Maryland 34-31 in College Park. Oh, and by the way, Nebraska actually won a close game. Thanks in large part to, of course, Dylan Raiola with 3 touchdown passes, 2 of them going to Hunter. I think his name is Evan Johnson, I can't remember, 176 yards as well with an additional score. Nebraska down, I think it was 7, and then they scored 10 points, held Maryland to 0 on the 4th to secure the dub. Hell of a game, Nebraska. So Matt Rule is that guy in college football. Good to know. This was what I was talking about when I said that things got even crazier as far as coaching fires. Northwestern goes into Happy Valley and beats Penn State 20-21, and this was significant because this actually got James Franklin fired. $56 million buyout, second highest in college football history, only to Jimbo Fisher's unprecedented $77 million buyout. Let's be honest, this isn't really that great of a Northwestern team. They had 2 losses. I think they got blown out by Oregon. I can't remember. They got blown out by somebody else. But they also had a win against UCLA, the team that Penn State lost to last week. This was probably the most embarrassing loss of them all. Oh yeah, and another thing, Drew Aller got injured in this game. He is done for the year. Penn State fans are in shambles right now. Oh yeah, one of the unfortunate news, one of the group of 5 contenders unfortunately got blown out in Huntington, West Virginia. Marshall beat up Old Dominion 48-24. Going into this game, I really thought Old Dominion had some, but Delrio Wilson, the quarterback from Marshall, absolutely balled out, and Old Dominion just couldn't stop him. Of course, as you could tell, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. Woo! You, sir, are a dog. Red River rivalry comes up Texas Longhorns for the, 3rd straight year, perhaps? Oh, wait, no, 2nd straight year. My bad, I forgot Oklahoma beat up Texas in that 2023 one when Texas first made the playoff. Anyways, Texas wins 23-6, not allowing Oklahoma to get a single touchdown. I saw the stat line for this game, Arch Manning didn't even do that great. It was more of the Texas defense showing up this game, forced John Mateer to throw an unprecedented 3 interceptions. Mateer was also playing injured. We were unsure if he was even going to play. He decided to play through it, and yeah. That's pretty much the whole moral of the story. Oklahoma's unbeaten no more, and Texas more than likely will be back in the rankings again, despite being 4-2. Next up, Tennessee actually almost lost to Arkansas in Knoxville, 34-31. Wow. It's post-Sam Pittman Arkansas team giving the Volunteers a little bit more than their share. Taylor Green was actually pretty impressive. 2 touchdowns. I think he had either 2 or 3 rushing touchdowns. I can't remember. Washington had a touchdown, 130 yards. Arkansas was fighting back. It was just their defense couldn't get a stop to save their lives. The 3rd quarter was definitely a little bit embarrassing. But Tennessee survives again. And guys, remember, Tennessee actually lost to Arkansas when they had Nico. With Joey, they get the 3-point win. 2 coaches that have yet to be fired that still have not are Luke Fickell of Wisconsin after getting shut out at home by Iowa. Let me repeat that again. They got shut out by Iowa, of all teams, at home. Gronowski is not even that good of a quarterback. Yeah, Wisconsin, can't afford shit. Fire him right now. The second coach, Billy Napier, got embarrassed by Texas A&M after a big win against Texas. They are now 2-4. Guys, you lost at the Swamp against USF. Come on. You gotta fire Napier. DJ Lagway, 2 touchdowns. I mean, he tried everything he could, but then, you know, the second half rolled in. The fourth quarter rolled in. They scored 0 points. An ugly day in Gainesville, Florida. Happy day in College Station. 2 games over here. Texas Tech blowing out Kansas 42-17, proving why they are right now the best team in the Big 12 right now. Also, Dickey, what a hell of a game. 263 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. Good hell. We thought Texas Tech was an air raid offense. They can run the ball too. And USC at home beats 15th ranked Michigan 31-13 thanks to Jordan Maiavis 2 touchdowns, 265 yards. And also Mekhi Lemon, 9 catches, 93 yards in a score. He's really balling out in the nation right now. Bryce Underwood, 2 touchdowns. Michigan's offense just got stalled out. Maybe it's a little defensive inconsistency for USC, but nice win. Oh, you've been wanting me to talk about this game at Jordan Hare between Georgia and Auburn. Let me just tell you, the first half score should have been 17-3, maybe 17-0. I don't know which one. I saw that game. I saw that fumble call they called at the goal line. That was a touchdown. Ball across the plane. Arnold still had it. Then he got it punched out. Auburn fans, I know, were livid about that end of the drive in the first half. That was a bunch of bullshit. Lots of calls going against Auburn. I'm very surprised Auburn fans didn't start throwing shit on the field. If that was against Texas, oh, you bet your ass they would have been throwing shit on the field. It was an ugly win for Georgia. At the end of the day, it was on the road, but yeah, refs definitely gifted this game to Georgia. Imagine that was a touchdown by Jackson Arnold. It would have been a whole different ball game. And also another ugly win for LSU, this time against South Carolina, 20-10. To be fair, they do have a guy on South Carolina's defense who's doing pretty nicely for himself. Dylan Spencer or something like that. But yeah, once again, Brian Kelly losing ugly at home again. He did that against Louisiana Tech. He's doing this against South Carolina too. I guess good game from Nussmeier. 2 touchdowns, 250 yards. But that's all I can think of right now. You know I had to talk about this one. Yeah. BYU beats Arizona in double overtime in Tucson, 33-27. Let's be honest, all those Arizona fans in the social media crying about how BYU got saved by the referees, that is a big fat hell no from me. You cannot say that we got saved by the referees if you didn't get that ticky-tacky roughing the passer call on Glasgow. That was a football hit, by the way, and you guys got 15 credited yards for you for it. Also, it was raining in Tucson. Didn't score shit for 2 quarters, and then in the 4th quarter, we actually balled out to force overtime. Let me tell you something right now. If it wasn't for that weather delay, we would have kicked their ass. Also, shout out to LJ Martin for the early touchdown in the 1st quarter. And also, shout out to Bear Buttmeyer. 2 rushing touchdowns in that game to pretty much force overtime and win us the game. And then Arizona fans want to say, oh, there's a little pass interference in that 4-7 play. No, it's called clamps. It's when a defender completely owns a wide receiver. That's what Evan Johnson did to that Arizona wideout. BYU 6-0, and we're going back home to the Holy War. Good luck, Utes. You're going to need it. Oh. You actually won against Arizona by 32 points. Interesting. Well, that win for Utah just gifted us big noon kickoff. So thanks, Utah. 3 rushing touchdowns from Dampier. Only 100 passing yards. He only threw 12 times. Interesting. Oh yeah, fun fact. We struggled against West Virginia for the run game because their quarterback could actually run. Thank God he couldn't throw. I'm sure hoping Jack Kelly comes back. I mean, the ace was actually pretty good from what I've heard, but we definitely need the jackhammer back. Because this is a huge game against Utah. This has Big 12 implications all over it. Because after that, we have 2 big road games against Iowa State and Texas Tech. So we got to get it done, Cougars. Oh yeah, by the way, I switched my pick from Arizona to BYU like before the game started still, by the way. So fun fact there, too. Looking at the Week 8 games, starting off with a Friday night game at 7 p.m. on ESPN. Louisville traveling to Miami. Hurricanes are 13.5-point favorites. I would not be surprised if they blew these guys out. Got the Canes. Carson Beck has been balling out lately, and they're also coming off a bye, so they're well rested. Yeah, I think Miami wins in a blowout. So, of the noon slate on FS1, we got Arizona playing at Houston. Houston are actually 2.5-point favorites. Arizona does have a lot of their sleeve, I would know. I don't know too much about Houston right now, but yeah, they could really win this game at home. I'm thinking a close one. I'm actually going to go with Arizona here. Then we got a very good matchup between two good teams. These two face off quite often in the Big 12. Now they're facing off again. Baylor, TCU, and Fort Worth. TCU comes into this as 3-point favorites. This is going to be a matchup for the Big 12 that I'm actually really interested in seeing. On ESPN2, we got Sawyer Robertson going against Josh Hoover. It's going to be fun. I'm going to go for the home team here. Very big shootout, but TCU will have this one in the bag. Undefeated Georgia Tech going to Durham to play Duke. And Duke is actually 3-point favorites here. Darren Mensah, he's been sneaky pretty good. They have potential for an upset here. I think Duke's undefeated in ACC play. So is Georgia Tech. I'm actually going to go with the Yellow Jackets here. I think they got something going. They won't lose to Duke. Next up, we got LSU going against Vanderbilt in Nashville. This might be the first time both of these teams come into this matchup ranked in the series history. I don't know. But Vanderbilt's coming off an L from Alabama game. You know they're pissed. LSU, still fraudulent. Diego Pavia will lead the Commodores to the victory. You also got a little bit of an interesting one. SEC Network will have the 12:45 game between Oklahoma and South Carolina and Columbia. Oh, by the way, LSU Vandy is on ABC. Georgia Tech Duke is on ESPN. For the SEC Network game, South Carolina, they've been struggling, but you're home going against Oklahoma. You know what? I think South Carolina's got this. Oklahoma definitely got exposed by Texas. They're not as good as people think. I think their collapse will continue at the hands of the Gamecocks. South Carolina knows what they're doing when they go against top opponents at home. So give me the Gamecocks for the upset. Next up, we got College Game Day on ABC at 3:30. We're in Athens between Ole Miss and Georgia. Last time these two faced off, Ole Miss dominated Georgia and Oxford. I don't know if that's going to happen. Ole Miss does have a good team. They're undefeated right now. They just dropped off one spot in the top 25, but I just do not think they're going to be able to keep up with Georgia right now. So give me the dogs in this one. Now here's an interesting one in the ESPNU. Battle for perhaps the Sun Belt crown. Old Dominion against James Madison. Fortunately for Old Dominion, they came off a blowout loss. James Madison's only loss on the year was to Louisville by 14, I think. I think Old Dominion's going to be a pretty solid team this year in the Sun Belt, but I'm going to go with James Madison here. Especially since James Madison is actually at home. I'll pick one more game other than the ESPN College Pick'em slates. I know I picked at Miami Louisville, but I wanted to go ahead and look at Ohio State Wisconsin. Because I think Wisconsin will cover the spread, but Ohio State will still win. Anyways, moving on. Penn State going against Iowa and Iowa City. You got, I think it was a freshman quarterback starting for Penn State. Oh, man. Iowa, Gronowski is not as great of a QB as I think it is. I think Penn State bounces back here. I'm actually very interested to see who Penn State has as an interim head coach. He could be interesting. I mean, if UCLA could beat Penn State with interim head coach, maybe Penn State could do the same to Iowa. Why the hell do they not have Tennessee and Alabama on the slate? These two are facing off on ABC. Tennessee going against Alabama. Tennessee won twice in Knoxville, 2022 and 2024. This isn't Tuscaloosa. I think Joey's going to have a pretty solid game, but Alabama will win this one. Same thing with USC and Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame will win this one, though. USC's defense is just way too consistent for me to trust them. Then we also got Missouri playing against Auburn, with Missouri actually being 1.5 favorites. 1.5 point favorites in that. Missouri's coming off a pretty gut-wrenching loss at home against Alabama. Auburn's coming off getting pissed off because they should have won that game against Georgia, but didn't. They'll get their revenge here. They'll upset Missouri. And the final game on this slate is the Holy War at 8 p.m. on Big Noon Kickoff on Fox. Utah against BYU. Oh, by the way, just because you're on Big Noon Kickoff doesn't have to mean you have to play at noon. But anyways, I gotta go Cougars. Fuck Utah. Sure, we'll definitely struggle with Devin Dampier scrambling in the building, but if we can limit him and take care of the rushing game, I think we'll be just okay. And if Bear Buttmeyer plays well. We know LJ Martin can play well. We're just hoping Bear can too. Go get him, Cougars. That's going to do it for the Week 8 games. Moving on to the AP poll. Week 8's AP poll is here. BYU is number 8 in the basketball poll, but let's take a look at the top 5. So we got Ohio State. That's fair. You know, they beat a ranked Illinois on the road. Miami is still at 2. That's fair. Indiana 3 after a big win against Oregon. That's fair. Texas A&M beating Florida at home. Pretty good. Ole Miss surviving at home against Washington State. Yeah, that makes sense to drop them. No complaints so far. Then 6 through 10, you got Alabama, Texas Tech, Oregon, Georgia, LSU. I would put Texas Tech above Bama, maybe even above Ole Miss. I think Texas Tech is a top 5 team right now. Also because Bama's quality loss to Florida State is not so quality now. Oregon could be ahead of Bama too, but you know, SEC versus Big Ten, you know, ESPN says hell no to that. Georgia at 9 after an abysmal showing against Auburn. Same thing with LSU. I think Tennessee should be in the top 10 instead of LSU. No lie, they actually clicked with a lot of this. 11 through 15 is Tennessee, Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, BYU. Surprising that Oklahoma only dropped 8 spots after losing to Texas. Something we don't know. BYU survived at Arizona on the road. A pretty impressive win, actually, against a pretty good Arizona team. Georgia Tech, you know, they got to go on the road against Duke. If they win that, they could seriously be a threat in the ACC to Miami. As for Notre Dame, we counted them out when they started 0-2, and look at them now, right back in the thick of the things. Now the bottom 10, 16 to 20, we got Missouri, Vanderbilt, Virginia, South Florida, USC. USC's back after beating 15th-ranked Michigan. Missouri dropped 2 spots after losing by 3 at home against Alabama. That makes sense. Vanderbilt goes to 17. Nice to see them back in the rankings again. Feels so weird seeing them ranked. Same too with Virginia. They've been rolling this entire season so far. South Florida, of course, has the best resume in the group of 5 teams right now. And USC, like I said, pretty dang good stuff. They just need to get their defense fixed. And finally, 21 through 25, we got Texas, Memphis, Utah, Cincinnati, and Nebraska. Cincinnati, after beating Iowa State like 2 weeks prior, is in the top 25 for the first time, I would believe, since 22. It's actually been a few years since Cincinnati's been ranked. As for Texas, 2 losses, big win against Oklahoma, though. I think Memphis should be ahead of them, though. Memphis is 6-0 right now. Utah 23, you know, the Holy War has some big Big 12 conference championship implications here. Nebraska, man, the fact that they're able to win close games now really puts a smile on Cornhusker faithful. Maybe Matt Rule was what they needed all along. Or maybe it's Dylan Raiola. I guess we'll see. And that is the AP poll for week number 8. Good luck to a lot of these teams, except for Utah, in the upcoming week 8. And I believe college football playoff rankings come out next week. Or is it this week? I can't remember. Anyways, watch out for those too. Don't worry if you're waiting for the game day short, that will come out shortly. That'll do it for this episode of Grizzly Talks Football. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you get this a big that thumbs up. Hit the red subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single one of my videos. This is the Grizzly signing off for now. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace, love, keep the Grizzly vibes with you at all times. Take care.